Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, I'm going to be filling out my second chance bracket for the 2023 NCAA tournament after obviously my first bracket was busted. So starting off here on my second chance bracket in the Sweet 16, we've got Alabama against San Diego State. This is an interesting matchup, both teams very, very good defensively. Now the difference maker here for me is Alabama's ability to score. I think they're the better offensive team and they will advance over San Diego State in the Sweet 16. Next game, we've got Creighton versus Princeton. So 15-seeded Princeton has been really, really good so far. They had a huge upset win in the first round over Arizona, and then a dominant second round performance against Missouri. Now Creighton, they're a great team with several offensive playmakers and good guard play, something you definitely need in March. Creighton, they've also got the size advantage over Princeton. I think Creighton is just too good offensively, and they will send Princeton home in the Sweet 16. Moving down to the East region, for the Sweet 16, we've got FAU against Tennessee. So another one of the more interesting matchups here in the round of 16. Tennessee, they've made it here despite some key injuries. And FAU, they've had a pretty easy path beating 8-seed Memphis and 16-seed FDU. So now, FAU is a team that relies very heavily on the three-point shot, and Tennessee is a tremendous defensive team, especially against the three-pointer, holding opponents to just 26.4% from deep. So I'm going to take Tennessee advancing because of their defense with a win over FAU. Next game, we've got Michigan State against Kansas State. So another interesting matchup. I don't think Kansas State is the greatest 3-seed in the world, but they're still a very, very good team. And for Michigan State, they've been really, really good lately. They've obviously made it here, upsetting 2-seed Marquette in the process as well. And now, I definitely think the winner of this region, of this game, could definitely win the region and go to the Final Four. But I could truly see this game going either way. This is going to be a very good game between two really, really good backcourts. A great duo of Tyson Walker and A.J. Hoggard for Michigan State, and a great duo of Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson for Kansas State. Now, Michigan State, they've already stopped a great guard in Big East Player of the Year Tyler Kolek in their win over Marquette. So now, I think they should at least have a plan to slow down the backcourt combo for Kansas State. I'm going to go with Michigan State getting the win and moving on to the Elite Eight to play Tennessee. Back up to the Midwest, we've got Houston against Miami. So this should be a really, really fun Sweet 16 matchup. Houston, they haven't been great so far in the tournament, but they have dealt with some injuries, and they get some much-needed time off so they can have time to heal up. So now Miami, they're an interesting team. They could score, but they face a very, very good Houston team and a very, very good defensive Houston team as well. I think Houston's just too well-rounded, too good, and Houston will knock out Miami, advance to the Elite Eight. Next game, we've got Xavier versus Texas. Another matchup in the Sweet 16 that is very, very tough. Both teams could really score the basketball, but the difference here is each team defensively. Texas is a very, very good defensive team, while Xavier, they've been good at times, but they're very inconsistent on the defensive end. Sometimes they'll look really good, other times they'll look awful. So I'm going to take Texas to advance to the Elite Eight with a win over the Musketeers. And the West region that was the Midwest. The West, we've got Arkansas against UConn. Another tough matchup. I'm going to take UConn. They have had center Adama Sinogo. He had a great first two rounds of the tournament. And Arkansas, they've been a very inconsistent team throughout the course of the season. So I've got UConn moving on. And our final Sweet 16 game, we've got Gonzaga against UCLA. Another tremendous Sweet 16 matchup. One of the best offenses in the country, and Gonzaga against one of the best defenses in the country for UCLA. So my bracket, before the tournament started, I had UCLA losing to Gonzaga here. I had that, this game being where the Jalen Clark injury for the Bruins would hurt them. But I've changed my mind. I have UCLA advancing because they've been great defensively without Jalen Clark in their first two games, so why would that change here? UCLA beats Gonzaga and advances to the Elite Eight to play UConn. So in the Elite Eight, we've got Alabama against Creighton. So another great matchup. Alabama is a team that's been great all season. They could shoot, they could defend. Creighton, they're also a very good team. I think Alabama's just a bit better defensively, and I think that's going to be the difference. Alabama makes their first Final Four in program history. Next game, we've got Tennessee against Michigan State. So, another very interesting matchup. Michigan State is a team that relies pretty heavily on the three-point shot, and they face Tennessee, who has one of the best perimeter defenses in the country. So, a very interesting matchup there. I have Michigan State because of Tom Izzo, and they've already shown they can win games without hitting the three-point shot because they went just 2 of 16 from beyond the arc against Marquette and still got the win. So, I've got Michigan State going from a 7 seed to the Final Four with a win over Tennessee. moving on to the right side of the bracket, we've got Texas against Houston, an in-state battle to go to Houston for the Final Four. So I originally said Texas would win this game and win it all. I'm going to stick with that. They've been great all season long. They can score, they can defend. They've already shown they can beat really good teams. Like really good teams like Houston, although they haven't played Houston, but I've got Texas advancing to the Final Four. In our final Elite 8 game, we've got UConn against UCLA. Another interesting game. UConn's been playing some great basketball lately, and I think they could definitely advance to the Final Four, but I've got UCLA. If they could beat Gonzaga, they could beat UConn. I think Gonzaga's better than UConn, and I have UCLA advancing to their second Final Four in the last 3 years. So we've got the Final Four here. We've got, oh sorry, I just realized I put Tennessee instead of Michigan State. That's Alabama, Michigan State over Tennessee, not Tennessee, Alabama, sorry. But in the Final Four, we've got Alabama against Michigan State. So Michigan State, they've had a really good run, but I think their run ends here in the Final Four. Alabama's just too good. I think Alabama advances behind a big game from superstar freshman Brandon Miller. And the other Final Four game, we've got a battle of the 2 seeds, UCLA against Texas. So, 2 experienced teams, both teams that are very good offensively and defensively, but I think Texas is just barely better offensively, and they will just barely sneak out with the win. And that brings us to the championship game. We've got Texas against Alabama. This was my original championship game, and I'm going to stick with my original championship prediction. I've got Texas. They've looked great so far, great offensively, great defensively, and I have Texas winning the 2023 NCAA tournament. So, those are my predictions for the rest of the 2023 NCAA tournament. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know who you have winning after the first 2 rounds. And if your original champion pick is still in the Sweet 16. So let me know who you guys have winning in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications so I do my best to post as often as possible. And I will see you in the next video.